Well, like we said, podcast being recorded at the tail end of May 2026. The economy is not phenomenal right now. So
Yeah.
when you tagged on gas into the tail end of your "What's Wrong
Yeah.
with Golf" rant,
Welcome to another bonus round of Must Play. Today's topic, the state of golf and what needs to be fixed. Americans are playing upwards of 500 million rounds annually, marking just the fourth time that totals have surpassed that historic milestone, and all four have been in the most recent 5 years. Golf is undoubtedly more popular now than it has been in the past, but are we happy with the state of golf at the moment? TJ and I each listed 3 things we like about the game right now and 3 things we'd fix. What's going well and what's in need of change? TJ, how you find making this list? Was it difficult or did it come immediately to you?
some came right off the bat. I think some were just inherently like, these are things that I've very openly complained about in the past and on the pod. So some of this will be stuff that you have heard before. I've tried to elaborate a little bit more. Generally, when I get to one of these topics on the pod, we're obviously discussing a golf course or we're interviewing somebody, but this is a dedicated, safe space for us to talk about this. So safe space. I said, we can have some healthy discourse, and obviously people are probably going to jump in the comments and tell us where we're wrong, maybe tell us where we're right, but mostly tell us where we're wrong.
Well, we want them to jump in the comments and tell us. I want that. Yeah, I want to hear.
Without begging you, if you disagree with us, please let us know. I would love to have a healthy discourse with people in the comments and not just you, Shawn.
What did we miss or what did we get wrong? Also, what we got right. I found out I'm a crotchety old man. I didn't find out. I knew that. But it reminded me because the things that I wanted to fix came a lot easier to me than the things that I liked about golf. And then I was like, okay, let me just step back and appreciate what I should be appreciating.
Right.
So, let's get into the list, though, real quick. Before we do, we're going to hear from today's sponsor, Devereaux Golf.
This episode of Must Play is brought to you by Devereaux Golf and their brand new Spring 26 release dubbed the Westward Collection. If your golf wardrobe needs a reset, then this is the time to act. The Westward Collection brings clean, Southwest-inspired knit polos and lightweight layers that are going to work on the course, at the range, or even wherever you're heading after your round. And don't sleep on the accessories either. Devereaux's hats and leather head covers are some of the best around. They're the kind that instantly upgrade any bag or outfit. Also, their shirts, they feel incredible without feeling sloppy, and the socks are just all-day comfortable, whether you're walking 18 or just walking your dog. It's a new season. It's time for a new direction. The Westward Collection from Devereaux Golf over on DevereauxGolf.com. Use code FAIRWAGERS20 to always get 20% off your orders. We'll see you out there.
All right, and let's kick off the list. TJ, we're going to have you start with something you would like to fix about the state of golf. I haven't seen your list, and I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, so this one is probably a little more personal, but I think it applies to a lot of golfers out there. Stop telling me that I will get better at golf by working on shots 150 yards and in. It seems to be the common default how you improve your handicap tip these days. It's the newest version of keep your head down swing tip. I don't think people understand that, like, if you can't get off of the tee box, the game becomes so much more insanely difficult for you. No matter what tee box you play, I had this written down as an example. Let's say you are playing a 400-yard par 4 as a 25-plus handicap. And you say, hey, take your longest comfortable club off the tee. For a lot of people who are over a 25 handicap, this is probably going to be about a 150-yard shot.
For comfortable, like iron,
for like one that's like, hey, hit your straightest, longest club, right? That's what people say. Hit your straightest, longest club off the tee. For a lot of people who are 25 or above, it's probably a 150-yard club, maybe a little bit longer. But on a 400-yard par 4, you're asking a 25 handicap to hit 3 good 150 to 100-yard shots in a row.
Well, I think the general advice is usually just hit it as hard as you can, put it down there, and figure it out from there. Like, the bombing approach. But I know you've had the issue with just the contact on the driver, which
And
doesn't help.
that's the thing, is that like sometimes it's just the contact, or sometimes it's like, oh, we made good contact, but that can't even stay in the ballpark, right? We're not out there always playing Torrey Pines where it's wide open on the left and the right, and you can just hammer driver and we'll find it. So it's just one of those things where it's like, as soon as the course starts to narrow up or there's penalties on either side, like I run into this a lot in Arizona, where when I play in Arizona, I end up taking like 6 penalty strokes around, and like 4 of them are off the tee because the ball's just gone. So it's really tough when everybody is just like, no, just chip and putt and like hit wedges and you'll definitely like lower your handicap. And I'm like, brother, we can't even get to 150 and in without adding a few extra strokes. So it's just, and like we've talked about this on pods before, you and I just don't end up playing the same course. And I'm constantly scrambling or trying to figure out where I'm coming back from. And it's just, especially also, I think playing poorly off the tee compounds as well. So you hit a ball, or you like, let's say you do pull driver. You hit a ball out there and you think it might be safe. You drive up there and you're like kind of worried. You can't go through that one shot and gone mentality. You drive up there, you're like, maybe we'll find my ball, maybe we won't. You got to hop out, look for the ball, try and find it. You don't find it. So then you got to drop one. You hope that it's, wait, let's be honest. We're all weekend warriors. We're all just taking stroke and distance here. We're not driving back to the tee box.
No,
so never. So I drop a ball, and then I'm now standing over a ball and being upset because I just had to go through the process of looking for my ball, and I'm hitting 3. And I'm pissed because I did not find my ball. And it's very hard to work on that. Like, oh, you hit a bad shot off the tee, just forget about it. And because I didn't know the ramifications of it until we got up here. I know people are probably going to shut up or tell me to shut up and stop calling me a baby. But like, I'm honest, like just like all of the other tips in golf, the solution is not one size fits all here. So just stop telling people who are high handicappers who you've probably never seen actually play, work on 150 and in, and you'll lower your handicap.
So your first thing about what you want to fix about the state of golf is the seemingly singular advice people keep getting at the high handicap level about focusing in on just that, a one size fits all piece of advice.
Yes. Maybe I went personal really off the top. But
I was going to say, this is a very personal thing.
But that's the other thing about what golf is so much right now of, it's very prevalent on the internet. I understand the irony in me saying this on a podcast. But a lot of golf and golf discourse happens in the comments. And the comments is where the people chime in with, here's how you get better. Here's what you're doing wrong. God, your swing looks terrible. So this is inherently a small minutia of the larger problem, I guess, of golf commentary on the internet. But this is my personal problem.
Are you self-proclaimed? This is something you want to work on off the tee, for example. Are you taking any steps right now towards trying something new to fix that? Like, is there something that you're going to go research? Are you talking to someone? You're going to go take anything? Like, what's the plan?
Every once in a while I'll hop in and talk to one of the 2 coaches that I've worked with out here. And kind of work through, like, because sometimes it's literally just something within the swing just falls out of order and it messes up the entire order of operations, right? And you don't know it, or you can't see it, or self-diagnose it, so you need to go have somebody else do it. So, I mean, but I'm going to say this, and of course it's going to come back and it's going to bite me in the ass. But I actually feel pretty good about driver right now. After the embarrassing match with the birdies in the outfield, where I hit driver once and it was the worst, and it threw off the rest of my game for like the next like 4 holes. I have spent some time working specifically on driver, so I actually feel
Good.
pretty good about driver. I mean, I hit the ball pretty well when you and I played in Arizona on the bachelor party.
Yeah.
I drove the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling better. I think we've corrected some things with, like I said, some self-diagnosis.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've played around since that bachelor party. So I don't think I've played around 2 months right now.
So you've just been at the range.
Just mashing driver at the range.
You're the guy that pulls out driver when he first pulls up to the range and just starts swinging in the large bucket.
I've moved past being that guy, but I'm hitting, I don't know, somewhere around 20 to 30, which is like more than they say that you should probably even actually hit. But I need to instill that confidence and repetition, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you want to fix? Or do you have more, or do you want to keep trying to be my therapist and diagnose this with me?
No, I definitely do not want to be your therapist. I have a advice related one but I'll leave that to the end. So let me go off here. This is the thing that I want to fix the most, and it's the price of golf. The price of admission. Let's just say that. Okay. For someone who wants to take up golf right now, and let's just zoom into Arizona because that's where I'm at for the next week at least. It is so expensive to play out here. It was very noticeable after COVID when people started taking up the game that it was like, hey, the rates at this place are still that much. Like, what? They never used to charge that much. And there were two things that happened. One, summer used to bring the temps and the rates would go down. That no longer is like a correlation, or if it is, it's not as dramatic. Courses are still charging. I just checked this week. It's May 20th, or it's around May 20th. Okay. We had 110 degrees just last week. It's already hot here. I'm not going to name the course, but they're not worth this price. They wanted $300 right now. Okay. And it's not a course you would expect to be charging $300. This isn't Troon or this isn't Greyhawk. This is just your run-of-the-mill Scottsdale course that gets away with being in a Scottsdale zip code, still charging $300.
I know who you're talking about.
There are some par 3 courses right now still charging over $120 in the day. I'm again not naming names, but I'm just saying that like it is stupid how expensive golf has become, at least in this part of the world. And it's not worth that rate. It's something that like even in the dead of summer, you're just not getting the discounts. I don't know if other people in the nation are feeling this, but like twilight rates don't feel like they should be there as cheap as they should be. When you're not finishing 18, courses are still charging like way too much.
Or they're charging you for the full 18 and being like, you're sorry,
Yeah. So first, it's how much courses are charging. That's like the biggest price right now. And it's prohibitive to people like myself who want to go play more golf, but I'm not. The second thing is, and this is just my opinion, a dozen balls of premium quality balls should not cost over $50 for a dozen golf balls. 12 of these things don't cost 50 something bucks. I don't care what technology is in those things or what when it like that's just too much. And I mean, I'll play the cheaper balls. I mean, I'm not buying those $50 balls. I want to, but I'm not going to go spend that on 12 balls. So for me, that's just a stupid price as well. Third, drivers. Why are new drivers over $600? I just looked up a driver that was like, it came out this year and it's $699 right now in most stores and online. And I'm like, have you ever broken a driver head, by the way? Have you seen it's empty inside? Yeah. It's literally air. There's nothing inside. The technology is the piece of whatever you want to call it, metal or whatever it's made out of, carbon, whatever, coming into contact with the ball, the face and the shape of the head. The rest is literally empty inside. If you bought any other product and you were like, it's empty inside and you paid that much for it, you would feel like you got ripped off. That just seems stupid for how much drivers are charging. So I'm very aware I'm being old man, get off my lawn right now, but those are my three. And then I have one more, which is used clubs. I believe used clubs should be done at either, you go to eBay or some other place where you're working peer to peer, somewhere where it's more reasonable, right? Or you're just like looking at marketplaces and stuff like that. But if you go to an actual store, like a PGA Superstore or even Second Swing or places that specialize in some of these things, they still want so much money for these used clubs. But if you go trade in your clubs, oh, sorry, best we can do is $30 for this bundle of clubs you just gave us. But you want to go buy one of those clubs, well, it's $120 still in fairly used condition. It's just the most egregious money grab. And I'm so pissed that clubs, balls, courses, everything, gas is just sky high. And it's like so prohibitive to go golfing right now. So I'm going to get off my stump, but price is my biggest thing I would love to fix about golf.
Well, like we said, podcast being recorded at the tail end of May 2026. The economy is not phenomenal right now. So
Yeah.
when you tagged on gas into the tail end of your what's wrong with golf, right? That's a state of what's going on, and Sean's talking about moving to Southern California, so that's only going to be more prevalent for him here soon.
I can't wait to pay the $7.
Yeah, I mean, golf courses are expensive. Any standard economist would sit down and say, well, the tee sheet is full, so they are going to continue to charge those prices, right? I think I saw a post on Reddit about Trump Doral, and it's like $700 or something to play Trump Doral. And they're like, what's up with the prices? And they're like, we keep charging it because the course is too crowded and people keep just paying.
Keep getting away.
But
courses that could claim a huge number, I'm generally, and most people are going to stay away from, or they'll go once in a while. It's your local munis and courses that were community focused that now all of a sudden are over $100 when they used to be $40-$50. Those are the ones that piss me off the most.
Yeah, I mean, when are you saying that they were $40 or $50? Was this pre-COVID?
Before COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
I know, inflation and everything else, and then you got the amount of people who are playing.
Yeah, it's not even inflation. It's literally just a supply-demand thing where courses realize they can charge more and make more, and they have to because there's that many more people who want to be on the course. You have to. I mean, I'm not saying every course is doing this, but I am saying that if you have more people playing more golf on your golf course, you have to increase the amount of staff. You have to increase the amount of maintenance. You have to increase the amount of water.
Well, we'll get into my next fix, but they can control how many people are on that golf course.
That's also true. But then also I mean, don't get me wrong. The world of golf is definitely trying to squeeze more dollars out of people because they can. And to be fair, it's always kind of been a rich man's game. And I think for a long time, it just sat in a place where it was just nerdy to play. And then it became cool to play. And now because it's cool to play, people realize that they can squeeze more dollars out of the regular guy who wants to look cool for the 4 times a year when he goes and plays with his buddies. And he's got to wear Malbon and he's got to have a brand new driver. I'm going to steamroll.
We're going into goods now, right?
I was going to roll right into my next good, which I actually wanted to say that accessibility and growing the game has actually never been better. My first point here was it's never been easier to get into golf because of the affordability of used clubs and D2C manufacturers.
Agree to disagree.
I mean, I think it's tough because the driver thing, I'm very much of the mindset where I think if you have a driver that's made within the last 4 years, you're going to see a negligible difference. You should not be buying a new driver anyway. It is not going to fix your game. It is not going to add that much distance.
I'm not going to get forgiveness. Are you sure?
No. If you want to spend $600 on the stock driver off the shelf that does not have a shaft that's even custom fit to you, you're way better off going and buying a 3 or 4 lesson package and learning how to hit your current driver.
Agreed.
So that's going to be step number 1. I do also think that yes, the Second Swings, the Golf Marts, the Roger Dunns of the world, know what clubs are reselling for on eBay or whatnot, but I do think that if you somewhat take the time to, you're not going to find all the time, but you scour estate sales, yard sales, guys who are doing stuff on Facebook Marketplace and are looking to flip stuff. But then also, I
Yeah.
will say you do have a little bit of fakes on there. Replicas of some higher end stuff. But outside of that, things that are also prevalent in growing the game, clinics at local golf courses, whether it's
Yep.
for junior specific clinics, beginner specific clinics, female focused clinics, like all of these things are popping up all over. Or people do, a beginner's day at the range and try and
Yeah.
break down that barrier of like, hey, I want to pick up golf and maybe I don't have buddies who are into it, but I still want to go do this by myself. Golf courses are trying to make that easier for them. I also think the prevalence of like individual, locally ran golf groups. We talk about happy hour all the time.
Yeah.
I joined happy hour this year. The amount of those that are around that are creating smaller community hubs within local areas is way higher than I've ever seen. And it's way easier to find out about them because of social media and
Yeah.
helping that grow the game. And you see people post about them, or you meet a guy and you guys start following each other on Instagram and then he posts about playing in one, or it's
Yep.
so it's so good in trying to break down that initial barrier of being like, I am a single person and I want to play golf, but I don't know how or where to start.
Yeah, because you don't want to be a single rando on tea time that you're going to be a little nervous
No.
about.
Yeah, you're not gonna go just book a flat out tea time and just show up somewhere and then have
Yeah.
the three guys whose regular tea time it is and be annoyed because it's this guy's second time on a golf course, which I think
Yeah.
we've all seen this kind of happen. And then it sucks because you see this guy and then he kind of says like, oh yeah, I'll play whatever tee boxes you guys are playing, and then because he doesn't want to be the outsider, and then it's just
Mhm.
not a great day for him.
I'll
uh,
always be the guy that if I get paired with one of those, if he plays fast or she plays fast, good to go in my book. I don't care. I don't care how good or bad you are. Just
yeah,
keep up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's it.
yeah, that's definitely a thing. Is if you're gonna be bad fast. Uh,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I think we're in the right place with growing the game. I don't know to what end, and to somewhat piggyback off of your comment of courses being expensive. I'm sure another thing that it sounds like you're going to touch on is the supply and demand of actual tee times. Like, we are growing the game, but it's not like
Shrink the game.
it's not like the number of golf courses are expanding at a rapid rate to support the amount of people who want to play golf.
No, that's the thing. There's fewer inventory for the demand right now, which
I
is
think
part of the
I
problem.
think that's part of like when I talk about like I haven't played in 2 months. A lot of times I don't make the decision that I want to play golf until like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and you got to be pretty on top of it if you want to try and
Yeah.
slide in as a single somewhere, or just
Yeah.
go and wait. So
Yeah. All right. Well, my first good is going to piggyback off of yours with you mentioned juniors and accessibility. I'm happy with the state of junior golf right now. I think, first off, you see lots of programs, lots of camps, lots of services by sometimes groups and courses that support this kind of thing. And it's more accessible for juniors right now.
Mhm.
There's a couple courses near me out here in Phoenix that actually run free programs for kids on certain weekdays, which is
Yep.
awesome. If you're a parent and you're like, hey, like I had to just pony up some money for a small set of clubs or whatever, but maybe this free thing will see whether or not they're interested before I go return those clubs.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's actual programs, right? So I plan to enroll Kai at the one at Goat Hill. They have a kids program, I think, on Wednesdays and Fridays. They have a drop-in rate of $40, so you
Yeah.
can go get a professional lesson for an hour. They go play the 3-hole course, the playground, and they do some putting stuff. I mean, you don't have to go commit to a 6-week camp or something like that. You can just
No.
go drop in, which is great.
Which I believe that's taught by Will Kropp of Grass League fame.
Is he the one leading it? I didn't know that.
I believe Will's the one who teaches the junior clinic over at Goat Hill. Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Then I'm definitely signing up for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that Emmerich was the guy that started the NCJGA over there, I think. So I don't know if it's part of that, but
I think it is.
On top of that, so with junior golf in general, what I like is I've started to get kind of into the game a little bit. And every time we have been treated really, really well by staff at multiple courses. Like you go to the range and maybe back in the day, it felt like you didn't want to bother people by talking, or if you were going to play with someone that was bad or even a kid, you'd go to the far, far end of the range.
Yeah.
Now I feel like you could still do that, but necessarily you don't have to, because there's so many new people to golf that are playing that it's not like only people who've been playing in it forever and then some random person that isn't as good. There's a bunch of people out there that are like kind of hacking. So it's okay to bring your kid now and not have to go at the far end even more at the range. The staff have been friendly. Shout out to Dobson Ranch. Every time I go there, they are just like, "What's up, buddy? How many holes are you going to play today?" They're all chatting to him. I got a free ball marker last time from them.
Yeah.
Just like really, really cool. And his confidence goes up when that kind of stuff happens.
For sure.
And then the other thing I'll call out is that there's the First Tee program, which nationally helps a lot of kids get into the game and learn a lot of life skills through golf. And then I also just played in a tournament for the Arizona Junior Golf Association. It's the JGAA, I think it's called. But they have a facility at, what'd you say?
Yeah, it was AGGA. You said JAGA.
It's actually JGAA. It's the Junior Golf Association of Arizona.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That right. But I said it weird in the first. But it was at Papago. And Papago, is a city course, but it's also home to ASU and stuff. They have a full separate facility, like building that hosts like tournaments and events, but it's the official home of that association. So I played in a scramble on Saturday for the JGAA, and there was a million teams, so many kids out there, all in matching polos for their 4-man scramble. Yeah, but I was on the putting green, and like these kids were taking the game so serious. They had like putting aids. They were taking turns in the holes. They're also being very like respectful of people. So they weren't like just acting crazy on the putting green. And I was like, I feel hopeful. Like this actually makes me feel good about the state of junior golf a little bit. So
yeah,
that's my first one.
It's the course that I most frequent to go to the range to. They do like, there's like a little like hill up on the top where they do private instruction, or where they instruct the kids if they're hitting balls. And it's always great because a handful of the teachers who do it like spend the first like 10 minutes of class talking about just like etiquette and like rules, where it's like, if you're not swinging, like keep the head of your club on the ground. And like, if you see somebody doing something, like don't run around by them. You don't know what's going to happen. Like they do a really good job of just like teaching, like instilling them the basic behaviors of like how to behave on a golf course. Because for a lot of kids, like at a base level, you're just outside, right? And that's no different than being at a playground at a park, except for you have a golf club in your hand, and that's a dangerous weapon. So instilling the right behaviors is really good.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's flip back over to the negative.
Funny enough, the next one I have here on my list is etiquette.
Okay.
I have zero problem with people who are new to the game or have picked up the game in the last few years, but we, as a golf community, got to do better on respecting the course. Divots, ball marks are absurd right now. Like, ball marks on a green is crazy these days on how many times you can walk up to a green and be like, did anybody, or heaven forbid it's a downhill par 3, the green is just, it looks like the moon. It's just cratered. It's lit up. Like you could spend the entire time your entire group is putting, fixing ball marks on the green and feel like you not even made a dent. It used to be a very rare occasion where I felt like I had to ever fix a ball mark in my line. And now I feel like I do it, especially on a par 3. I feel like I have to fix 1 or 2 every time.
What about people walking in your line? Do you ever get upset
I'm
with that?
not I'm not as mad about someone walking in my line. I think it's so minute in terms of all of the other things that can actually like happen
Yeah.
with your ball and your putt. I don't think. I mean, an agronomist can probably come on and tell me why someone walking in my line is, actually detrimental to my putt, and I'm sure it is very detrimental in higher levels of golf play where the
Mhm.
greens are perfectly manicured and very well taken care of, and a footstep and some spike marks can do that. I think right now we're seeing so many people play in spikeless golf shoes, and our greens aren't rolling at a 14, so they're not like marble. I don't think it's that
Yeah.
big of a deal. But I do think that like divots in very common landing spots or where balls funnel down to is really bad, and that's just a sign of like how you feel about everything. Whereas I would imagine the same guy who's not ever filling in a divot is the same guy who's not ever fixing a ball mark on the
Or
green.
or bunker, raking a bunker,
Raking a
or
bunker, yeah,
yeah,
raking a bunker is another one that like I didn't want to go fully into the diatribe of this, and then also just like general pace of play concerns of like ready golf
yeah.
and ignoring the fact that there's two things I hate here. One, people who think that they are the only group on the golf course. And
Mm.
the second line of thinking of that of being like, well, I paid money to be here too. Or like
Yep. Do
I
you feel
paid
like
just as much as they paid to play.
but like what form does that take? Is it like they're playing their music obscenely loud and they're acting like they're the only ones on the course, or what's like the thing they're doing that makes you think that?
The one that kills me is when people will not let you play through.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
or if potentially like our group is playing slow and there's a twosome behind us, and someone in our group is like, it's fine, they're just going to be stuck behind us, and then they'll just get through us and be stuck behind somebody else, and it's like, what? Like, what are we? Like, I feel so bad just standing like on a tee box and just like knowing that potentially someone in your group is playing slow, and
Yeah.
there's guys standing on the tee box behind you, and I feel that pressure even though it is not caused by me, but I have the option to try and impact that, and then my words to try and impact that go nowhere. Okay, so that's where
Yeah.
that does that. I think the other one with etiquette, and it's funny because you and I both talked about the state of junior golf and how acceptable courses are of newer players. I still think there's a lot of courses not doing that right. And like the amount of times you watch people like show up to a golf course and they have no idea like where to put their bag, where the pro shop is, where to check in is. Like, where is there a driving range? Where's the driving range? And that golf courses just assume that you've like, when I hear somebody say like, oh, have you guys ever played here before? And you say like, no. And then they're like, all right, well, here's bathroom, here's driving range, here's starter, here's first tee, here's putting green. Like, and they go through that spiel. Phenomenal. But there are far too many courses who don't do that in the slightest and just expect you to just like close your trunk in the parking lot and know exactly what to do from the moment you put your shoes on in the parking lot to the moment you tee off on the first tee.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tangent of etiquette, though. You're talking about like the setup or the staff a little bit more than you are the etiquette right now.
For
Right.
sure. For sure. For sure.
But your point being about a lot of people newer to golf coming to golf, it's lending itself to generally people acting a little bit like assholes if they want if there's something that they do on the course and then taking up a lot of time essentially, which is creating a bad experience for everyone in terms of pace of play.
Yeah. I mean, if you think that if your first opinion or interaction at the golf course is a negative one with maybe somebody
Yeah.
in a pro shop or one of the guys taking your bag,
Yeah.
then you're probably also going to go into the mindset of being negative for part of that day as well. And
Yes.
probably being like, well, fuck this course. Like, fuck these guys at this course.
Yeah.
So
I have a quick tangent about that. I
please.
played with Mike on Saturday, and
Long time recurring guest, frequent listener, Mike Dresser.
yes, and this was not at Papago. I actually played 36 holes on Saturday. Had a great day.
How's
This
the
is
back?
at a different course. They had a tournament that was teeing off behind us. We were like one of the last groups to go ahead of the tournament, so perfect. I think we got around in 4 hours and like 12 minutes or something like that. We see the marshal on 18. Now, on 18, you should be having a positive experience, right? The marshal on 18 is never telling you to speed up. The marshal's like, hey boys, hope you had a good one out there today, or hope you shot well. Leave with a positive thing in mind, so you want to come back, right? Mike hits a dot onto this par 5, and he's got to look at an eagle putt on 18. He's stoked. Marshall's coming up. Mike puts his fist out to go fist bump. The marshal goes, huh? How about that? Did you see that? You like a little eagle putt action? And the marshal goes, well, yeah, how about this? You like this? See all that red? And he points at his GPS screen on the top of his cart, and he goes, you guys are holding everyone up behind you. How do you like that? Like, he just completely changes the vibe to negative. And we're like almost on the green to 18. And I'm like, that's not us. No one's behind us. There's no one on the tee box, and we are all the way up at the green. I was like, that's the tournament. There's 8 dudes on tee boxes. We saw a couple groups 4 or 5 holes back stacked up, and it's just a bunch of dudes who know each other on the tee boxes. And the marshal's like, well, whatever you say, your word versus mine. And he was all like pissed at us. And so we left, and we were like, that's the worst. Why would you say that to someone right as they're finishing 18? Like, it makes me not want to come back.
Yeah, I would much rather have the marshal who's going to tell me the story on the tee box for too long, but also like make sure that we have waters in our cooler.
Yeah, it takes care of you.
Then rather than that guy who essentially that was your last interaction on the golf course that day, which is just the guy who's going to ask to clean your clubs in the cart barn is not going to fix that interaction at all.
No. Mike even asked, he goes, hey, who's your marshal today? Because he wanted to leave a review.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, it's
deserved it.
Yeah, that's even if that is the case, that does not need to be said on 18.
Yeah. All right. While I'm fired up, should I get into mine?
Yeah, let's hear yours.
So my next negative or thing I want fixed is stacked tee times or stacked tee sheets. Okay. So I don't think it's a surprise to anyone as golf got more popular. Courses saw the demand go up. A lot of them figured out they could sneak out people and they could fit in more rounds if they reduced the amount of time between tee times. I have some data here for you to back up that it's not just in my head, right? So I went to a couple different sources and found that the general pace of play pre-COVID on average was around 9 to 10 minutes in the United States.
9 to 10 minutes per hole?
No, 9 to 10 minutes in between groups. That was the interval.
Okay.
So 9 minutes is 9 point something was the average interval between tee times. Post-COVID, that dropped to 7 to 8 minutes. It was like 7 point something between tee times. And that is obviously filling up the tee sheet, getting more people out on the course, but our rounds are ballooning to 4.5 hours plus because you're bunching up. You hit these par 3s and there's another group that hasn't even teed off yet because these courses are just fitting out too many. So number one, I just am annoyed that courses did this. But number two, I'm not surprised. They're a business like anybody else. And if I was a business owner, would I be doing something like that? I would try to get away with it first. But then here's what I do like is that there's at least one course out here in Arizona who listens to customer feedback, heard that they were having a negative experience because of the tee times being stacked so closely together. They actually reverted their tee times. So I think it's worth giving them a shout out. It's Ocotillo here in Chandler, Arizona.
Yeah.
They went back to a wider interval on tee time. So shout out Ocotillo for doing the right thing when people complained.
Also, having 27 holes, I think, helps with that too.
For sure, they can do that kind of stuff, but they had tried to get it tighter, and so that plus, I think, just the poor experience that comes with seeing groups stacked up before the first tee box. Your time comes and goes. You were supposed to be up there at 1:30 or whatever, and it's already 1:30, and you see 4 carts ahead of you that haven't teed off. It just, like, to your point about the negative experience when you start the course, it's the same thing. And it's just like, guys, what are we doing here? I know that an afternoon time might be slightly behind pace because there's the chain effect of people starting early. But when I have a tea time at like,
it's like the
yeah,
Coriolis effect or the Coriolis effect.
is that what it's called?
Well, so it's funny. I was actually talking with frequent guest Blake Von Thaden about this the other day. And
Yeah.
It's what happens in traffic, right? One person stomps on their brake, and
Yes.
then the person behind that takes longer, and it pushes all of that back and even further because one person at the front. So
Yeah.
if one person slows up by 2 minutes, the next group slows up by 3, and then the next group after that is 5, and then it cascades down.
Right.
It's like going to the doctor's office.
We should have a little science segment with TJ. I feel like you dropped Parkinson's law in the last episode. Now it's the Coriolis effect.
I've only got a handful of them. I don't think that that format's going to last that long. But if you want to, if you want to fly in a beaker here and put a lab coat on me, I'm not going to argue with you.
I could do that. Yeah. Anyways, I was just going to point out that like even some late morning tea times at some courses, still have the bunching going on, and I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? I just know it when I see it. So, stack tee sheets. That's
all right.
It's gonna be
fun. I've got a very interesting would you rather here. I want you to know that the numbers here are strictly just to make the math work out. Okay? Would you rather pay $100 for a tee time and the intervals are at 5 minutes, or $200 and the interval is at 10 minutes?
Assuming I'm playing like, every other week, I'll say the $200 answer. So that way I have a more enjoyable experience. I think is it Landman, the one that like caps how many, like I know they sell out really fast, but didn't Brett say the intervals are like 12 minutes or something crazy?
Yeah, it's above 10 for sure. Cause I think he might've said that they might even be 20.
I know, but it might be crazy like that. You're right. Because on some courses, just think about like feeling like you're out there all by yourself. It's just such a good vibe that like I might be willing to look past the price point if I felt like I truly was not rushed and I felt like I had it to myself.
Yeah. It's funny because two of your fixes like directly like correlate with each other of like, well, golf is expensive. And it's like, well, some courses are expensive because they do have spread out tee times. So then they have to charge more to compensate for the same money, or, and then the guys but the number being like somewhere between like 5 and 6 is crazy. Cause I would like to never visit a course that has 5-minute tee time.
Well, it's between 7 and 8 on average right now, post COVID.
Okay. But still that means that some of them are down at like 5 and 6, like to drag that down to the 10s.
Yeah. You're right.
So,
all right. What's your final good?
This is not my final good. This is my second good.
Oh, right? You're right. We're
okay.
Sorry.
So funny enough, we didn't talk about what we were doing for this beforehand, but mine was actually embracing shorter formats of golf. That's going very right now. So where we've talked about golf being, prior COVID days, it used to be like I go play golf to get away from my wife because it's 5 hours long and I get away from my wife for that long. And obviously now when I go play golf, my wife completely understands that I'm probably going to be gone for like 7 hours with how early I get to the golf course. And then depending on who
you mean 8 or 9 hours, right?
Yeah, probably 10. But let's just buffer for 10.
That's crazy that you're getting under 8 hours there. That's nuts.
Yeah, crazy, all in. Yeah, but I think shorter formats, like guys going out and playing 9 holes, is becoming much more prevalent. And I think some golf courses are actually doing a pretty good job of helping guys do this, where it's like, oh, hey, you can go out in the morning and we'll kick you out on the back 9. And you can finish in 2 hours and be done. And it's like you're home before 9 a.m. So I think it's just more consumable. I'd love to say that I think maybe YouTube golf has helped elevate 9-hole golf a little bit, because I feel like I feel like for a long time we've we've got more into 18 hole YouTube formats in the last probably 2 years. But I think the prevalence of YouTube golf was starting to rise up of guys playing 9 hole matches. So I
I
think
I
go
think
ahead.
remote work had more to do with it.
Oh,
People fitting in 9 before they just went right back home and had hopped on a Zoom call.
that's probably a little bit easier because you can hop out at like 6 a.m., play 9, and probably still be signed on at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
and be okay.
Or if if you're in the time of year where it gets dark a little earlier, but you can pop offline at like 3:34 and you're going to go play 9, you know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, that is a very good point. But I do think that I think golf's done a really good job at supporting that. Some
Yeah.
courses, like we said, do better than others. Some courses are really good about the twilight rate. I'm very much looking forward to you moving to San Diego and taking full advantage of Torrey's incredible twilight rate for residents. I think
Yeah.
that should be that's gonna be great for us. And then I also think like uh shorter formats when we talk about hole length, like par 3 golf in general is starting to pop up significantly more everywhere. From a
Mhm.
competitive aspect, Grass League is obviously a phenomenal watch. It's very cool. It feels like it is a equal playing field where you don't have to be super long and you don't have to be the guy who hits 320 off the tee and then can hit a 3-wood
Yeah.
another 300 to, try and get eagles out there. It feels like it's like, hey man, if we just hit the ball a little well and roll some putts, like we could play some good golf.
I think it's more so can you hit the shots under pressure? That's the
That
ask.
too. That I mean,
Yeah.
that's definitely where Grassley kind of comes in. But I think we've talked about it ad nauseum on the podcast. Just yearning for a lit par 3 course,
Yeah.
lighted par 3 course here in San Diego. Maybe it'll be Mission Bay, maybe it'll be someone else, but
Yeah.
please, I'm begging you, if anyone out there, I know there's a ton of money in San Diego, but if any of you guys want to figure out how to light your golf course, you're probably going to recoup all that money within 5 years.
Oh yeah, easy. The monopoly they have out here in
The
Carrasco Peaks is
Yeah, I think
insane how well they're doing.
I don't think it's the cost of getting the course lit. I think it's the HOAs in the surrounding areas and
True.
the light pollution and all that. But yeah,
Speaking of
I just go ahead.
speaking of shorter holes, do you also like courses like Preserve at Bandon Dunes and others that only have like 13 holes or 12 or those odd numbers?
Yeah, I mean, we had that debate with Jones when he came on for Chambers last year. We talked about
Yeah.
what's the ideal number of golf holes. I love 13, 14. I would love to see a course take a stab. They'd have to design for it, obviously, because you have to design 3 6-hole loops. But I would love to see some 6-hole options. And then
Yeah.
if you want to play 6, 12, or 18, like I think that would be super rad. I
Yeah.
don't know if someone will take the risk to do it. I don't think they're going to do it here in Southern California.
Probably not because of the land, and
Yeah.
it's you'd have to design something to fit. But if you had, let's say, Goat Hill's little playground was a 6-hole playground versus a 3-hole playground, that's ideal to go take a
Yes.
kid out or to go like fart around 6 holes. Just like
Yes.
go have fun, go have a little match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like
Absolutely.
that.
Or it's like, oh, you show up and the range is like packed and you're like, you know what, man? Let's just play 6 holes and let's get out of here.
Yeah, yeah,
Or you're feeling good at the range and you're like, man, I don't have time for 9, but like maybe I can play 6 real quick.
yeah, yeah. All right.
What about you?
I like
What's another good you had here?
This one is one of the things I love the most about golf. The beverage selection, it has gotten better. It has gotten so good at golf courses. I mean, people don't realize how good they have it right now. It used to be the case, at least when I was coming out of college, and I'm dating myself here, that you would go to a course and they were like, okay, we have domestics and we have Corona and we have Dos Equis. Like those are your imports. And that was about it. And then if you wanted something else, maybe some of the courses had shooters or something else that you could just pour in a styrofoam cup with Coke or something like that.
Yeah.
Now for the mixers, at least, most places have full bottles where they're putting it on the thing and they're making double transfusions or they're making whiskey gingers, whatever the heck you want. So like the liquor piece is great. The beer selection at most courses out here, at least in Arizona, and I know in San Diego too,
Yeah.
not just the golf cart or the cart girl, but also like at the turn and whatnot, you have local craft beers, IPAs, pale ales, canned cocktails, long drinks, high noons, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just played in a scramble, and in that scramble, our foursome, between the four of us, someone got a double transfusion, someone got a high noon, someone got an IPA, and someone got like a Modelo. But like the variety in that order is insane. And she had all four of those things and no problem. So I mean, like that is cool, and just something that I think it's partially craft beer just taking over and starting to become more popular in the zeitgeist.
For sure.
But the other thing too is that like I love it when a course has a different selection or even expanded selection in the clubhouse or at the restaurant.
Yeah.
So where maybe you were sticking to certain cans, you go in there post round and there's like 8 taps or something like that. That's great. I love that vibe. If you have something I like on tap, I'm probably going to stick around, have one on the patio. And same thing goes for the turn. I'll always order a draft beer, even if it's not my favorite, just to have a draft beer. So I love that. And then I've been doing a lot of shout outs so far on this pod, but there's a couple courses out here that do really, really well for selection. And that's Grass Slippings, Ocotillo, Greyhawk, and Whirlwind in particular. I love their selection of local stuff. And I can't remember off the top of my mind, so apologies to whoever has this, but one of the courses out here has a margarita machine on their cart.
Jesus.
And they're like pouring frozen margs. It's really, really good in the summer, man, when it's hot out. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Phoenician, but I can't validate that, so someone might have to.
I don't recall, but yeah, if you know it, drop it in the comments. Yeah. I think it's a good thing where more craft beers are getting distributed by the bigger companies, so it's easier for them to increase their distribution. I'll also say, if you or anyone in your group is ordering a mixed beverage from a cart girl, or probably even someone at the turn, stick to like what they probably ordered. Try not to order like,
don't throw them a curveball that's going to take time or something.
Yeah, like we're trying to get through there fast. Order a beer, or if someone's already ordering a transfusion, like order, but you don't want vodka, sure, order a tequila transfusion. Like don't be the guy who wants something wildly different like than what everybody else is already ordering, and just increasing the time in which that person has to make another separate cocktail and open up 3 other things.
I had the cart girl at Camelback tell me that the group ahead of us had ordered old fashions, and she was like, "I don't have bitters or anything for that. Like, I'm not muddling a sugar cube or." I'm trying
to think of what she did at that point to even make one on a golf cart.
She offered them whiskey neats or like soda water and whiskey or something like that, because she didn't have any of the stuff.
Where are they playing where like that is a reasonable request? Like,
I don't know. But I looked at them differently once we caught up. I was like, these guys?
Yeah. Okay. That's a little wonky for sure.
Yeah. Okay. On to your last.
My last wrong here. My last wrong here is golf fashion.
Ooh, okay. I'm interested to hear from you. So
it's not golf fashion overall. The strides that we've made in golf fashion are still overly negated by how stuffy the game is.
Okay.
Like, it is still by the letter of the law, slacks, belt, polo, tucked in, solid color hat. Like, everything is white, black, navy, gray. Like, everything still just feels like you watch the tour and it's like, yeah, some of these guys take risks, but like from a broader stroke, the game is just so cut and dry. And, we talk to the guys that we know that work at golf apparel companies, and every year they're still putting out 7 shades of blue polos.
Are we talking about golf fashion on tour versus the amateur golf fashion?
No. Separate? No, I think it's still the same thing when you go to a golf course too.
People
Where,
aren't tucking in and wearing slacks at golf courses. Amateur.
well, we don't play at country clubs.
Well, this isn't a country club podcast.
No, but we're talking the state of golf and things that need to be fixed.
I
But
don't
I
care what
also,
people do at
but
country
I
clubs.
so then remove the tucked in and the belt thing. Okay,
Okay.
guys are still wearing fucking boring ass clothes on golf courses.
You fucking nailed it on the colors, by the way. That's my entire.
I didn't want to take a personal shot, but I'm glad you said.
No, you're totally fine.
Not proud of it, man enough to say it. That's me, Sean Massey.
That's 100% me.
I also think if we're going outside of like the traditional regular garb, on the extreme end, we do not need more brightly colored, brightly patterned four-way stretch polo brands at all that are made from polyester and plastic. Like,
Yeah.
I know it has never been easier to start a golf brand or to start a clothing brand than it is right now, and the accessibility to Alibaba and all of those things. But please, guys, I beg you, like, do not start that clothing brand with the polos and the bright colored stuff named Bunker Boys or whatever. Like, we don't need it. And then the last one that I'll say on my horse here, we gotta stop with the upside down letter hats and the big letter hats.
Oh, please.
It like, I don't know if it was
double-check on
just
that.
because like we were over it a year ago, and I know that the product life cycle is over a year. So a lot of these guys, but it was like, no,
Yeah.
like hats don't take a year to make. Like, and we're still making these hats. Like, we are still seeing, and I know sales trends probably say otherwise, but like, gentlemen of golf, I beg you, please stop buying these hats so they will stop getting made. I am sick of seeing a hat that says Pebble in big letters, or the most egregious one I think we've always talked about is P-Hurst.
Yeah. But you're including upside down arch.
Yes, and
right?
lo and behold, I don't think there's any in here, but I think there's definitely some in this household that they're done. They're retired. They don't get worn anymore. That we have passed that.
Yeah.
It is done.
This is going to be a bit of a drive-by, so apologies, Jones. But at Whirlwind, when we went for the bachelor party, he walks out with the Whirlwind upside-down hat, and I was like, no.
He did, like, didn't he? It's funny because Jones lives up in the Pacific Northwest, and that's not a very, like, the current trend of what is in style for, like, golf or whatever is not the way that, like, Portland and Oregon and Washington, it's not the way that they do it. Like, Ryan from Wildwood would never make a upside down letter Wildwood hat,
Yeah.
So I'm sure to Jones that was maybe a brand new concept the first time he saw it. Was like, this is cool, and the rest of us are like, oh no, I've seen this hat a billion times. Like,
I'm going to Wildwood's merch store real quick. Just to make sure.
I would think that Ryan does not have one on there.
Dude, his hats are so sick. I love the retro logos that he makes.
I could see a world in where he made a sample back in the day and thought about it and then said, "Nah, this ain't me." So maybe he's got one sitting around.
No, I do need this sporty rope hat that he's got with
like you said, he's done a few with the retro logo from like the 70s, 80s. I like that too. That's got the mountain and the trees on it.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Always crushes it. I mean,
obviously
he's the winner, What's your last wrong here, Sean? What's your old man yells at cloud?
Golf advice. So this is broader than the one that you started with around
fair.
The 115 in. There's just too many people on social media and YouTube giving out golf advice. And I don't mean in the comments. I mean the videos. Like how many we all know someone, or hand up, some of us are guilty of seeing a video and then being like, I'm going to go try that at the range, or heaven forbid on the course. And then you're doing something where they were in the court or in the video probably exaggerating the feel, exaggerating what you're doing by, coming over the top or whatever. And so you're just messing with your swing. Well, most of the time, you're actively hurting your swing even more. You're doing the opposite of what you should be doing. It might be a short-term fix, but it's not a long-term fix usually. And I think my biggest complaint here is the amplification and the algorithms that are pumping this type of content the second you, God forbid, click on one of them. They're just like, hey, you like swing tips? Here's a million swing tips in
Well,
your feed.
that's just
And
hold on. Now you're getting outside of golf. That's just
I know,
a
I know.
social media complaint.
I know, but there's no shortage of people making those videos. Is my point, right? So, so it's the like people who are they have no business of doing it, but they're figuring out a way to monetize it. Good for them. But it's the people like hurting your swing actively by giving out bad advice, and they have no right to be doing it. It used to be the case that you had to, wait till Golf Channel had a program on that showed you something from how to putt from Brad Faxon. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to listen to him. Like, he's a really fucking good putter.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go watch something with Butch Harmon, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to listen to Butch Harmon. That's no longer the case. It could be anyone that's on there.
If
Real quick, and then my second tier, arguably worse than that tier of bad advice, are the people intentionally editing their videos to mislead the viewer that something is happening in reality when it's not. And I'm not talking about like, hitting a million shots and it's like the 10th take that they post, right? Because
Sure.
that happens.
Sure.
And that stuff annoys me. It's the guy that, like, you probably know this guy. He was on TikTok for a long time. I think he still does it. He's in I think he's in Korea, and he's in an indoor golf range, and his
Yeah.
swing looks super, super slow and smooth, but the ball's going like 280, 300. And people are like, what the hell? How's he doing this? His name is Tiger_Golf_TV on TikTok if you want to go look up what I'm talking about. And I'm only calling him out here because there was a Reddit investigation on the golf subreddit facing this guy. He was taking different swings and putting them together to make it look like his slow swing was doing what the fast swing at impact was doing.
Yeah.
And so he's making people go out there and be like, why can't I do this? And feeling, insufficient with their swing. Like, oh, this guy can make pure contact and send it 280. Why can't I do that when I swing soft or even harder? So just the misleading stuff out there, shame on them. And that's something that I wish didn't exist in this day and age of golf. Leave it to the pros.
I'll say, even going back to your point about Brad Faxon on the Golf Channel or Butch Harmon or any of that, at the end of the day, go get your swing looked at by a coach. Like,
if you want to take it seriously.
Very rarely are tips a one size even fits most. Not even all, even fits most, right?
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. Just swing your swing. And that's also what a good coach will a lot of times do for you, is not, depending upon where the level of your game is. Some coaches will try and mold you into the ideal golf swing, and then other coaches will say, well, hey, what's your goal here? What do you want to break 90? Then all right, let's figure out how to like tweak what you have going on right now and make that work so that you can break 90. Because you don't need to
make an athletic move and fit what your body's doing and make it work. Yeah,
exactly. We don't need to retool your swing.
Yeah,
to help you, shoot better and shoot in the 70s. If you're just trying to break 100 right now, don't try and change how the guy's entire club path is supposed to work. So just don't listen to anyone on the internet or on TV. Just go talk to someone who's looking at your swing in person.
Do your research and second guess, especially in the age of AI. Second guess what you're doing.
Yes.
All right. What's our final ones here that we like about the state of golf?
My final thing that I do like about the state of golf, contradicting before, fashion.
What? Okay.
Where golf game is so stuffy, it used to be mostly stuffy, and now it is less stuffy. So the game has been trending in the right direction of being more lax. Never in the world have you seen more t-shirts on golf courses, sneakers on golf courses, untucked polos on golf courses, shorts on golf courses. Hell, you see it, people allow it. It's not my vibe. I think you should have sleeves on a golf course. Like, I think sleeves is probably where I draw the line. Like, I saw a kid, probably like a college age kid, recently at local muni executive course, and he was wearing just a sweater vest. And I was like, yeah,
that's weird.
I think you should have sleeves. Like, I think your armpits should be covered if you're a man playing golf. Ladies, do whatever. But yeah, I mean, I like that. And I like that there are players on tour who are embracing this and getting this out to the masses. Do I
Yeah.
like that those have to be $200 polos and $300 pants because it's high fashion or it's a streetwear brand? No. But do I think that we are starting to skew in the right direction with that and it becoming more accessible? And I think what that also inherently does is it opens the door to more people playing golf, especially
Yeah.
and new golfers feeling more comfortable on the golf course because they don't feel like they have to go buy a logoed up Peter Millar to step on a golf course.
Yeah.
And they can wear, a t-shirt from Devro Golf, use code Fairwagers20 for 20% off.
Always.
So I mean, like, and I won't sit here and go on a diatribe about like the guys over at Devro, but making the game feel a little bit more lax and a little bit more accessible to maybe people who would have never even given golf a chance, but they saw a golf shirt that they thought looked cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the other thing that golf's done, and that's one of the things that I love is when golf kind of starts to stray that line of like some of my other interests. So like the back of this Devro shirt, as I talk about it, has like video game stuff on it. It's like, oh, I like that shirt a lot because I also am a gamer at heart. So then it's, it starts to blur the lines a little bit. So I think it starts to open the door for more people, or they see a shirt that they like and they go, oh, that's a golf shirt.
You want to show it off for those watching on video, by the way? Soft plug for those on YouTube.
I mean, you can't get this shirt. This is, I hate to be like snooty like this, but this is from their players collection last year with T-Mobile. So this is not a shirt that you can buy from Devro.
101.
I know. It's like
oh, that is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so it opens the door to stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of cool brands doing that. And I know that I took the wrongs and shit on the people starting polo brands. And I know there's a million people also starting t-shirt brands.
I was going to say, this explains your earlier take where you kind of cut it off because you're now explaining the public side and the other side of fashion that you do like.
Yes.
And I hope someone stuck around to this if they turned it off right when you explained the first one.
No, I think it's, we're trending in the right direction, but we are still majorly like inherently stuffy. Like, far too many people feel like it's too weird to take a risk out on a golf course. And I think it is also, your golf game is so individually unique to you. And we do it with clubs and head covers and all of these things. And then people will just wear something that is very straightforward when it comes to clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What's the last thing that you love about this game right now, Shawn?
I like the way course design is going right now.
Okay.
I know a lot can be said about the PGA Championship that just happened and the trees that were taken out, so it made it a little easier for the pros. But this is coming at course design from an amateur golfer perspective. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love trees. Trees are good. But on the course, I like the trend of opening up the course a little bit, taking a few of those trees off the, older courses that had them lining the corners of the fairway. Mm-hmm. It speeds the game up. You have more exciting recovery shots when your ball's offline from the fairway. You're playing a match, and there's nothing better than like escaping on a hole that you had no business escaping from. And just trees in general, like especially up in the PNW, like they're very penal, and you're just like punching out, which isn't that fun. Like I like the open ballparks.
All I can think about is the first trip that we took to Portland together, and like literally the first day that we played golf. I think we played Eastmo was the first course that we played when we were there, and you just could not hit a punch shot out of the trees, and you're like, this is not a thing that I even like practice. You're like, I don't hit a punch shot. I take my desert club out, and if I'm offline, I take my desert club out, hope I can find my ball and try and get a club face on it.
That's exactly what I do. Anyways, that's true story. So I just like, I don't know, more open ballparks, and I like having looks at greens. I think it's good for the game of golf in terms of pace of play and stuff like that for us weekend golfers.
Yeah.
I also like course design right now seems to be putting more ground game into play. So this is something that like David McClay Kidd does in his course designs, where you can putt it off the fairways, you can do bump and runs up to greens.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like bunkers lining everywhere or rough ringing around the green on some of his course designs. Gil Hanse does this too, where like the green complexes, they're more like think Pinehurst type stuff where things roll off as the danger versus like just getting dumped in rough or a bunker or something like that. So I like that type of golf. I like it. It tickles my brain when I'm like, ooh, I could like play this really low and just run it up there versus like having to play it in the air.
Yeah.
So that's maybe more link style, but I love that kind of stuff. And then my last thing I like about course design, and this is kind of like an emerging thing right now, is more and more courses leaning into native areas where you can ground the club. It used to just be sand and like, oh, you can't do that. And now you got like Tobacco Road, which has been there a while, but like that type of stuff where everything's native area.
Yeah.
And you can ground the club. So you can test what the ground's doing. And once again, probably have another recovery shot that speeds things up and it's fun to play, you know?
You know, we talk about rules. We should do a rules podcast of best rules that you should be playing on your weekend rounds with your buddies.
Like gallery drops. And,
yeah.
And
like
breakfast balls.
Gallery drops. Do you want to give anyone a breakfast ball? I personally think that one that most groups should probably add in, especially with the varying difference in sand in bunkers, is being able to take a practice cut in the bunker. Like, don't ground your club behind the ball. We understand that can and will impact how the ball is going to come out. But like, take a practice swing to know how the club's going to actually go through the sand.
Yeah. Any course like that kind of stuff where, you know, Rustic Canyon comes to mind, or like Frisco, PGA Frisco, those courses, like they're just more open, and like the danger is like the creeks or the like runoff areas versus like trees. Yeah. I think that just suits my eye better. And I know a lot of designs head in that direction. Gearhart, for example, which I want to cover one day on this, they used to have trees lining all the holes, and they took them all out essentially. So now when you're at Gearhart, it really feels linksy, but there's like a million ways you can play a hole. It's a lot of fun. So that's mine.
No, I think that's good. I like that.
This is a reminder for anyone watching still. I would love for you to leave us a comment. Tell us what we missed, or, you know, is TJ wrong on one of his takes, or am I wrong on one of mine?
Yeah. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? Where did we go right? Let us know.
Yes. Yeah. Any honorable mentions or anything you want to bring up before we close out?
No, I think those were, without going too far into some of the other negatives, I think those were most of the ones that I wanted to get off my chest today.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for us today. If you don't already, please make sure to subscribe to Must Play wherever you get your podcasts. Rate us 5 stars. It does a lot to help. You can also watch the video version of these over on YouTube by searching for Fair Wagers. And TJ, I will see you in person in less than a week as I make the move. So I'm excited.
Let's do it. Let's play some G.
We will.
Capital G golf. Let's do it.
And $7 gas.
$7 gas. Let's go for it. See you out there.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.